Hi, I'm Jody with InsideBaseball.com. And there's going to come a time when you're going to transition to the big field. You're used to playing on 60-foot bases, you're going to transition to the big field, and guess what? Now you get to lead off, and pitchers get to pick over. I've got some of the guys here that are transitioning to the big field, and we're going to talk about our right-handed pitcher reads when we're stealing bases. Now guys, there's some things we can look at, okay, that will allow us to get a jump, basically a head start when we're stealing, so that we get down there quicker. And the pitcher is a creature of habit. He does what's comfortable to him because his main focus is what? It's not you, or at least it should not be. What's the pitcher's main focus? Sure, of course it is. It's the batter and throwing strikes and getting him out, okay? Now, so his concentration is really there, and he'll give us a glance, but he'll start to create some habits, and that's what we call our right-handed pitcher reads. Those things that he does that will allow us to get going. And what I like to do is I like to teach my players to start at the top. We'll just start at the top and work down. And if we can pick something up before we get to the bottom, then we'll have that much better of a jump, okay? So we start up here at the shoulders, all right? And I'm going to turn my back to you, but I want you to get a good look, okay? We're going to start up here at the shoulders or the upper body. And a lot of pitchers, when they get up here, they have a tendency to come here, okay, and they'll take a peek over, and then what they might do is start to rotate those shoulders. They'll start to rotate those shoulders so that they can build up that momentum and go to the plate. But watch what happens, okay? I started to turn my shoulders before my foot raised. So if I get here, okay, and I start to turn those shoulders before I raise my foot, you can go. You see, if I do anything other than pick this heel off this mound right here, that's the only way I can come over. If I do anything before that makes a move to home plate, I have to go home. And that's ultimately what we're looking for. We're looking for a movement that tells me he's going to the plate and I can take off. So if you notice, say we're over there on the bench and the first or second hitter of the game got on base and I'm coming up 6th or 7th, and I should be doing what? That's right, you should be watching the pitcher for these keys right here, so that when I get on first base, I already know what I'm looking for. So I'm over there watching, and I see this one right here. He comes here, right there. I could get a good 2-3 of a second head start. Did you see that right there? Okay. Another common read for pitchers is the lean, one way or the other. Again, what they'll do is they get here, okay? They start to lean back and lift that leg up. Again, there's a movement. Before I lifted my foot up, I can go. Were you guys aware of that? Huh? What they may do, again, is they may get up here and get real balanced and then start to lean forward a little bit. I can go. He actually started leaning before my foot was lifted up. All right? So those are some things that we can do up at the upper half, okay? And once we get to lefties, there'll be a few more. Now we'll go down towards the middle here, and more importantly, the elbows. Because if you notice, with a right-handed pitcher, I get to see his elbows. When he comes set, okay, when he comes set, you can see those elbows, right? Well, that might be a key, because a lot of guys, like I said, they like to do some things that get going because they're comfortable with it. Watch my elbows. Watch my elbows and my arm right here, okay? I get down here, and a lot of guys will drop their hands low, and then they'll start to lift their hands up before they go. Did you guys see that? Huh? There's a read. There's a read. I'm comfortable getting here, and then as I come up and then I lift, because I want to get this thing going to time it up, I can go. Foot didn't move, but the hands moved. The glove started up. Glove starts up, I got to go home, okay? I'm not allowed to come over to first base, because if I'm coming over to first base, what's the first thing that has to move? That's exactly right. This back leg, this back heel has to come off so I can come over. If anything else moves first, I got to go home. All right? So that's another example of things in the middle of the body. Look at the hips. All right? A lot of guys, okay, they get set and they'll start to rotate that hip right here before they lift. There's another key. Now, I don't have anything. This guy's pretty good, okay? He's worked hard at it. Can't find anything up in the head and shoulder area. His hands are pretty good. He's pretty consistent. I don't have anything down here. So now I've got to go down, and this is, if the pitchers are doing it right, this is where I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go down to his feet to make my reads, okay? And this is, you have an option here. Some people are more comfortable reading the back heel. Some people are more comfortable reading the front heel. It doesn't matter. You have to decide that for yourself. But what happens is, when a pitcher gets here, all right, and you're gonna kind of have what I call soft vision. You have soft vision because you want to see both heels, okay? But you might be concentrating a little more on one or the other. And basically, it's this: if I'm a back heel guy, if I see movement and it's this, I'm back to the bag because he's coming over. If I'm watching that back heel, if I see that, I'm back. If I see anything else with the front foot, I go. See how it works? And vice versa. Some guys like to look at the front foot for the same reason. They're just more comfortable. They get here, and if that front foot right here, they're off and running. If something moves before that front foot, then they're back, okay? So really, those are the basic reads from a right-handed pitcher. You just have to get comfortable with sitting over there and picking out his little tells, because he will show you something. He'll show you something. The key is you have to find out what it is. And now you have an idea of some of those to pick out. So if you're ready, why don't we go on over there? Wow, did you get that good of a jump? Was I that easy? See? Yeah. Ah, good. Very nice. Good, good. Okay, now those reads that we just spoke about are all movement reads. They're movements that the pitcher makes during his delivery. But there's a couple things that we need to be aware of. One, well, both of them will help us, but one of them makes us shut it down because we don't have the time. And what we're talking about is this, okay? We talked about pitchers are creatures of habit. So we can also have a timing read. And what I mean by that is, and this happens a lot, you don't have to worry about what he's doing movement-wise, because what they'll do is they'll get in the same rhythm every time. And another way you can read a pitcher is, okay, goes like this, same thing every time. Boom, all right? Boom, okay? So now you sit there and go, he does the same thing every time. So in my head, it may be, okay, I go 1001, go. 1001, go. And you can trust that because he's gonna do the same thing. So think about this, all right? If you said, okay, this is when he's gonna go 1001, go. Every time, well, guess what? When you get over there and you're on base and you just sit there and you go 1001, boom, and you go, you're gonna have an unbelievable jump. So that's another thing that we can develop a read from, are timing reads. if a pitcher falls into a habit, and they do, we are all creatures of habit, you figure out his timing and then just go when it gets there. 1001, 1002, go. Whatever it is, that gives you an advantage. Now let's talk about another timing issue that we need to be aware of, because the pitcher can stop us. And what I mean by that is this, okay? There's what we call pitcher-catcher matchups. And what that is the combination of the time it takes for the pitcher from when he moves to when it gets into the catcher's glove, and then when it hits the catcher's glove, the time it takes for the catcher to throw it down there. And that's what we call the pitcher-catcher matchup. And you know how long it takes you to go from first base, your first move, to second base. Now, we steal when that matchup is good. And what I mean by that is, okay, say it takes you 3.5 seconds to get down to second base, okay? And it takes my catcher, and we'll say 2 seconds, from when it hits his glove to when it gets down to second base, 2 seconds. So now, when my pitcher is sitting here and it's taking him 1.5 seconds or longer to get the ball to home plate, is that a good time to go? Yeah, that's a good matchup. I should be able to get to second base before he gets the ball to the catcher and they get it down there, okay? Now, this is one thing that pitchers will start to do to combat that, all right? And it's called different things. It's called a slide step, quick pitch, hurry up, load and go. There's all kinds of things that people call it, but in essence what they're doing is they're getting rid of the ball quicker, okay? So you may have a guy who's sitting here and, you know, most of the time he's here and he's pitching. But in a big situation, or maybe it's a running situation, okay? It's a running situation and he gets here, right here, and does one of these. Now you can see how much quicker that was in my windup, right? So now all of a sudden, let's talk about the pitcher-catcher matchup. Whereas I was going 1.5 or 1.6, now all of a sudden I'm getting to the ball to the plate in 1.1 second. The catcher's getting it down there in 2 seconds. That's a total of 3.1 or 3.2 seconds. We know that we can't get there quicker than 3.5. Is this a good time to run? No, it's not. There's just not enough time. So as a base runner, when we see that quick pitch or that slide step or whatever you want to call it, guess what we have to do? You got to shut it down. You're going to take, what's going to happen is you'll be there, you'll see the movement, because notice, I'd still move my front foot, okay? On both of them, I moved my front foot. Same thing here. I moved my front foot. But you have to keep your eyes on that pitcher just a little longer to determine, is this a leg lift or is it a slide? Because if it's a slide, he's going to get it to the plate quicker. And I need to shut it down. And what will happen is, you're going to get over there, you'll take your steal start, boom, but you'll realize that he did a slide step, and you'll probably take 1 or 2 steps, and then you'll get set up again, okay? So that's what's going to happen. You have to shut it down when he slide steps so that you don't get thrown out. What's the worst thing that happens? We start over, okay? So remember that. Shut it down on those slide steps and quick pitches, okay, so that we live for another pitch. So to recap what we just went over, remember we're going to start from the top to the bottom. Check your keys. It may be a lean, shoulders. It may be a turn with the shoulders. It may be something with the elbows. If not, go down to the feet. Check and see if you're more comfortable reading the front heel or the back heel. Those are the movement keys. Then we have timing keys. Make sure that we're aware of the slide step and the leg lift. And finally, if he falls into a rhythm. I'm Jody with InsideBaseball.com, and that's how you read right-handed pitchers.